When it comes to a historic bridge, the collaboration between an engineer and historian is an important part of any MnDOT historic bridge project. The collaborative process facilitates preserving the important characteristics of Minnesota's historic bridges while keeping structures useful for the future. The collaborative process is a multi-step undertaking where the historian and engineer share knowledge, work through issues, and make joint recommendations. The process includes data collection and research, a site visit to the structure, and preparation of the guiding document for the project. The collaborative process has been applied to various types of MnDOT projects, including the development of bridge management plans, bridge rehabilitation plans, and alternatives studies. Collaboration between a historian and engineer has proven to be a vital component to all of MnDOT's historic bridge work. This video will outline the process and provide examples of how the collaborative process has been applied to various types of projects in the state. To assist in the collaborative process, the historian and engineer gather important information on the bridge. The engineer will review previous studies, records, and inspection reports to understand the past and current condition of the bridge.
We try to gather any existing information that we can about the bridge before we head out in the field. However we can best prepare ourselves for the inspection work is just going to pay off in terms of the quality of the inspection we'll be able to perform. And types of documents we look for would be, of course, previous inspection reports, previous findings that other people have gathered and have recorded about the bridge's condition. So we'll review those, and that'll give us a good insight as to what our game plan will be when we go out to inspect the bridge. The governing standard would be the AASHTO standards. And so AASHTO is the American Association of State and Highway Transportation Officials, and which is an association and a board of folks, if you will, that create our design standards, our evaluation standards, and they're governing federally across the nation. And when you take that then down a step further, depending on where the bridge is, for example, in Minnesota, we then work with Minnesota standards that both enhance and in some cases further detail the AASHTO standards, if you will.
Similarly, a historian will gather historic information on the bridge and review plans, photos, and documents describing its historic significance.
So as a historian, I'm looking for all of the archival records that are available about the bridge. If the bridge has been previously evaluated to identify its historic significance, it'll have a determination of eligibility document, and that can be either a Phase 2 evaluation or a National Register nomination. I look at the National Register nomination to find out why this particular bridge is historically important. It will tell me who the engineer that designed it is, who the contractor is, when it was built, what were the considerations at the time it was built, why they picked this particular design, what materials were used, the specific type of stone, the source of the stone, the importance of the bridge. And so it's very important to understand why the bridge is important before we come out here to look at it, so that I know what to look at.
By collecting and reviewing data prior to field survey, both parties will fully understand the historic significance and engineering history of the structure. Owner participation is a crucial part of the data collection and research phase of the collaborative process. The owner is a resource for engineering and historic documents on the bridge. Additionally, the owner provides details on previous work undertaken, public sentiment, and the future vision for the structure. An important step in the collaborative process is the site visit to the historic bridge. There, the engineer and historian meet to look at the existing condition of the bridge and identify rehabilitation needs. During the visit, the historian will identify the character-defining features of the bridge. A character-defining feature is the distinctive aspect of a bridge that allows it to convey its significance. Character-defining elements can be due to the materials used, engineering design, method of construction, or architectural qualities. Additionally, any alterations to the historic fabric or the original materials used to construct the bridge and to the original design will be noted. During the visit, the engineer performs a detailed structural inventory of the bridge. By performing a detailed structural inventory of the bridge, the engineer will better understand the current condition of the structure and more easily identify areas of concern. The field visit allows the engineer and historian the chance to explore and discuss treatment recommendations and serves as a baseline for future discussions.
There are several benefits to being on site with the engineer for the historian, and one of them is being at the real bridge, full size, full scale, a lot better than looking at plans and maps back in the office on paper or on a computer screen. Another important element is the ability to see the surroundings of the bridge in real scale and real time. There may be historic features in a landscape around the bridge that are important for the engineer to be aware of, and there might be traffic issues and pedestrian issues that are reasons for the bridge needing to be rehabilitated that the historian won't know about. And if there are things like that the bridge needs to be repaired, we can walk over, look at the bridge. The historian can explain the character-defining features, point them out. We can see what the issues are structurally with the bridge and how can we work with those repair issues and still preserve the character-defining features.
I think one of the first real values is just our ability to come together and recognize our knowledge differences. As the engineer, I'm trained in the engineering side of the structure. The historian is trained in the historic aspects and historic properties, and we can bring that and share that information together on the site. For example, when I come up to the bridge and I'm seeing a deficiency or seeing a component that needs repair, I can look at that with the historian, bring them up to speed with what the issue is. We can talk about what may need to be repaired or what the issue may be, and the historian can assist me in how we may do that and how we may bring that component back, and get the structure value we need, but also at the same time preserve the historic character and features of the bridge.
This process continues with meetings and the exchange of draft reports and plans. The collaborative process has been applied to various types of MnDOT projects, including the development of bridge management plans, bridge rehabilitation plans, and alternatives studies. A bridge management plan provides a framework for future maintenance, stabilization, and preservation needs for the bridge. It is the first step in preserving a bridge and acts as a reference tool for owners and springboard for projects. The management plan includes a review of the historic significance of the bridge's character-defining features, and the current engineering condition of the bridge. The collaborative process is also applied to alternative studies. Alternative studies look at the various options available for the bridge to meet the project need and how the options may impact the historic structure. Through the collaborative process, the historian and engineer work to find the best solution to the problem that minimizes any adverse effects to the historic character of the bridge. The collaborative process is also important during a bridge rehabilitation. The historian and engineer work together to develop rehabilitation plans that meet the Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation. The rehabilitation standards provides rules for updating the bridge to meet the bridge's current uses, while maintaining those important historic elements, characteristics, and aspects of the bridge. The engineer and historian must collaborate to develop management or rehabilitation plans, or an alternatives analysis that meets the historic and engineering standards. This collaboration focuses on reviewing character-defining features and historic fabric of the bridge, discussing project's purpose and need, and current condition of the structure. Collaboration streamlines the process, facilitates discussion, and provides opportunity to partner on solutions that will meet engineering and historic requirements.